Okay, viewers, this is VOND, Dr. James VOND speaking, and right now I'm in Birmingham city centre and making my way to Primark Superstore, which is actually the world's biggest Primark Superstore. I should mention that, and it's 5 floors in that store. And today's date is the 9th of January 2026. And the weather has been quite atrocious yesterday. Overnight, there's still quite a bit of snow and slushy ice kind of, or snow on the pavement, and they've been obviously gritting over the night to make the roads clear. And I've just arrived here by the X1 bus, I should mention that. And whilst I'm making my way to Primark, I'll mention some news events of interest and give my own personal commentary, that is, my own opinion regarding those news events. So the first one that comes to my attention is the most recent news event on the 7th of January 2026 in Minnesota, USA. ICE agents, federal ICE agents, allegedly, this is also caught on camera, shot dead a woman, a 37-year-old woman by the name of Rennie Nicole Good in her car. And there is video footage on that incident, and it is quite controversial. Some people are saying that she actually reversed into one of the agents, and that's when one of the other agents shot her dead. But if you look closely at the video, I'm of the opinion that she maybe just reversed a bit back slightly to see the agents there, and then attempted to flee, obviously, go forwards. So she obviously made a mistake of trying to reverse back slightly, and she should have just fled forwards and not put in reverse gear. That's my opinion. Anyway, and I think the ICE agents, the one who shot her dead, was quite unprofessional. I think they should have aimed at the tyres or something, and not straight at the windscreen. Maybe she might have survived then, you see. Might have slowed the vehicle down. It's just like when you aim at the kneecaps, when you don't shoot the person dead. It's like that, rather than shoot them dead completely. I mean, afterwards, all she was doing was just fleeing, and there wasn't really any description on her, anything on her suggesting that she's done a major offence or something, a dangerous activity or something. Actually, Primark's actually shut. The shutters are down. It's because of the weather. Obviously, they probably didn't turn up because of the harsh weather. There has been a weather warning, and many places are shut, even the schools as well. Some of the buses are working, and that's how I got here, via the bus method. I'll see on the other side, the high street side, and see if that end is open. But I'm assuming it's all closed because of the weather, and you can clearly see the ice melting and becoming slushy on the pavements. So I mean, that woman who was shot dead, she had 3 children. She was a mother of 3 children, 2 from her first husband and another from a partner that she was living with. And that's a 37-year-old woman fleeing those agents. So that's my opinion anyway. I don't think it is right that they shot her dead like that. She was, after all, just fleeing, and she hasn't really done something severely dangerous, like blown up something or killed people or something, with weapons or something. So it was excessive use of force, in my opinion. And all they needed to do is just shoot out the tyres, maybe, if they wanted to slow the vehicle down. That might have been a better option if they were trained properly. It's like someone, like I said, shooting someone at the kneecaps rather than shooting someone directly and shooting them dead. It's like that, basically. So they were really ruthless killers at the end of the day. Trigger happy, Sometimes these officials do get like that when they're carrying guns. Well, obviously that's USA, but... Okay, the second news event is concerning the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, who was removed from his country and from power by a US military operation. Absolute Resolve. That was the operation name. Operation Absolute Resolve. And they removed him and his wife with that operation. And he was obviously leader of a sovereign country, so it is kind of disputable doing that sort of thing. And many countries around the world have obviously opposed it because of the removing a sovereign leader and interfering in someone else's domestic country. But I think it's something related to with the drugs, obviously, the DEA, Drugs Enforcement Agency, and there are cases of them getting involved in past, and I'll mention that in shortly, but anyway, he's a 6'3" guy, Nicolas Maduro, and he's removed from power, and he's only got actually one child of his own from his first marriage. His second marriage, he had three. That was his second wife's children. But regardless of that issue, it was obviously an operation that was carried out on the 3rd of January 2026. And incidentally, that rings a bell because in 1990, on the same day, on the 3rd of January 1990, the Panama leader at the time in a country called Panama, Central America, not far from Venezuela, was also removed. That was General Manuel Noriega. So he was removed. General Manuel Noriega was removed in 1990 on that same day, the 3rd of January, but obviously in 1990, not 2026. So it has happened before, and that was also the US military operation. And that operation was called Operation Nifty Package when they did that, and it lasted for 15 days. It started on the 20th of December 1989, and they involved psychological warfare. In fact, the psychological warfare that was involved was akin to a very loud maximum volume music played at full blast, and obviously he sought sanctuary at a different place, and obviously under international law they couldn't actually take him out from there. Yeah, I think it was some sort of a church or something, and they put the volume on full blast, including heavy metal, Guns N' Roses, and music like I Fought the Law, 24/7, and until eventually he gave up. Obviously, it was deafening music. He couldn't sleep at night. I should mention Primark is actually open on the other end, at the high street end, the world's biggest store. Let's go inside there now, and I'll continue my story mentioning the Panama military leader who's removed by the US military back in 1990 on the same day, the 3rd of January, but obviously not 2026, that's 36 years onwards. He was actually sentenced to 40 years in prison, held in custody by the Drug Enforcement Agency, and died in prison around May 29th, 2017, at the age of 83. So he didn't get to complete his sentence, he died in prison. That's Manuel Noriega. He's only 5'6" guy at the most, 5'6". He wasn't a tall guy. He was as opposed to the Venezuelan leader, who was a much bigger bloke, being 6'3". But both have been captured similar sort of way, you know, and branded on TV as well. So that's the Latin American country as well. But obviously Panama. So they've done that in Panama, and that was a Operation Nifty Package. So just for mention that name, and the current the current operation that took place for the extraction of Nicolas Maduro was Operation Absolute Resolve, and obviously he's been held in custody and in New York and attending court trials. Obviously he's denied everything, and he's protesting his innocence, and so we'll see what happens there. But that's the news there. But obviously it's a difference is he's a bigger bloke, 6'3", and obviously it's 36 years onwards. But it has happened in the past. That's the point I'm making here. So they have removed it on the same day. So
good morning, customers. Due to current weather conditions, you can complete your purchase at ground floor tills only, and the fitting room services are currently unavailable. Our entrance to the store is also limited to high street entrance only.
And the other news event I'd like to mention, the third news event, is Greenland. And on that issue, I should mention that back in the 19th century, the USA has actually acquired land like that. A country like Alaska, which is actually owned by the former Russian Empire country. So they actually purchased that at a very extortionately cheap rate. And obviously Russia must have regretted it later. And they got that for a really, really good bargain. And they have bought countries like Alaska, which is also a neighbor, and became a state of the USA. And I think Greenland is also the current administration of the USA's best hopes, to acquiring, a neighboring, strategically pointed country. Obviously, it's in between Europe and North America. So if they do get that, it'll be excellent for them strategically. I'm not too against it or for it. If either the European Union is going to be on that side of things, if they get involved, or it's the US. The US seems to be obviously the most powerful neighbor there, and I think they will be more dominating. And obviously American eateries, McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, they can all get there, and even Pizza Hut, etc., and the Ford Motor Company. And the potential there is massive, obviously, and obviously oil exploration and minerals as well, and deposits. So it's also a strategic point in between Europe and North America. So obviously they'd have to rely so much on Canada, you see, then if that's the case strategically, then Canada will have to obviously have troop movements or whatever near their border again, if that does go ahead, because it will balance the shift of power to that country. So it might be a threat to them, but I'm not sure other countries. But the European Union, obviously, Denmark in particular, because that's the country that actually owns that country of Greenland. It's one of their countries, territories. So on that issue, I'm not too against it or for it. If obviously they could easily do that if they can remove Nicolas Maduro from office like that, and that operation absolutely resolved. And also in the past they've removed people like General Manuel Noriega of Panama in 1990. That's no sweat to them. That's just peanuts. That's just they could do that in their sleep virtually. So that's how easy it is for them to do that sort of thing. Okay, I'll end this video now. I'll do another video because this is getting long now. Dr. James VOND on 9th of January 2026 inside Primark Superstore. On the side that is open, that's the High Street. The shutters are down on the Moore Street side. Just thought I'd mention that to my viewers if they think I'm coming over today. That is in this kind of harsh weather. It's not so bad at the moment, but it might be bad during the night, later on in the evening. That is.